Tomorrow's the last day to apply for taking the next exam to join the Boston Police Department. To tell us about the exam and about department careers is our guest from the BPD, the Commander of Recruit Investigations, Sergeant Jose Lozano. Thank you very much for
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for having me.
First of all, for this exam right now, I say tomorrow's the deadline. Can people really get in shape for this when the test is actually given in April?
Yes, I mean, Chris, tomorrow is the deadline for the exam, so obviously, time is of the essence. I think the cutoff from the state is tomorrow at midnight, so obviously, you have to be, the minimum age is 21, the maximum age is 40, and, they would go to the mass.gov/civil service in order to sign up for the exam. So like I said, the deadline is tomorrow.
Well, no exam can totally give you an idea of what it's like to be a police officer or a firefighter, but as far as what's on this test, what's it like?
Well, the civil service has on their website also, they have a tutorial, kind of like, a guide of the kind of questioning that will be on this exam. But most of the questions are, I wouldn't say totally, like, it's a basic exam, logical questions that, most people should be able to answer and answer, give an educated answer to.
So you don't really have to know much about the nuts and bolts of police work?
No, it's more, like common sense kind of, questions. So it's not, it doesn't have a lot to do with criminal justice or anything of that nature.
Because one of the other things that we've been hearing over and over again from the leadership in the department and in City Hall is that we want a department that reflects the diversity in the city. So I guess that means, at least the more people taking this test, the more likely you are to get something like that.
Yeah, I mean, right down from the mayor and the police commissioner, my boss, Commissioner Evans, the mandate is to, we're trying to attract a higher pool of women and minority candidates, people of color. So, we would obviously appreciate more folks from, the urban setting from the city signing up to take this exam.
What about your own police career? Well, what made you take the test?
Well, I was a young kid. I grew up in the South End, and as a kid, that's all I ever wanted to do was be a police officer. I could remember just, walking by, driving my bike next to District 4 in the South End on Warren Ave and telling my mother one day I'm going to work there, and that's the way it turned out for me. Little did I know, what I was in store for, working in my own neighborhood. But, like many police officers, I'm, living my dream right now. So, it was always, back in my mind, and I tried several times. It wasn't, on my first exam, I had to take a couple of exams in order to even get the call to come in, So.
Now, a lot of the time we hear stories, many people of color, they look at a police and sometimes a fire department, and they say, that doesn't look like us. How are we going to fit in? How are we going to get along?
Yeah, and that's what the perception and the mentality that we're trying to change. That's our goal. Because I was fortunate. I did have some people that that were mentors to me, like growing up, and they guided me. And I saw some of my family members on the police department also, and friends of my older brother, and I said, that's what I want to do, that's what I want to be. So I did have some guidance, and, it's exactly what was done for me. That's what we're trying to do for other people also. And I always say, if you think there's issues with the police department because it's not representative of the community, come join us and help us be part of the solution.
Even thinking beyond this very next exam about people who, should be the police of the future. Let's say we're talking about a high school student, and they're just like you. They're growing up. This is something they want to do, but they don't know if they can do it. What should they do to improve their chances?
I think, like, one of the, the message that we try to get across, because I know you know this from past experience or from talking to people, everyone thinks that the only thing that you have to do is stay out of trouble, not get a criminal record. But there's a lot of things that go into this, from when you're young, everything from your driving record to your credit report, things of that nature. These are things that are employers. Employers is a big issue. If we have candidates that have multiple employers and they've been, terminated from employment because of issues ranging from bad conduct, bad attitudes, or stealing or anything like that, those are things that we look at. And we always try to talk to the young people about things of that nature, that it's not only about the criminal record, everything from the driving record, your credit report, behavior at past employers, that has a lot to do with it. You have to keep those things intact and very clean.
Now, in terms of avoiding negatives, that's good advice, but what about some positives? If you maybe study criminal justice in high school or college, or if you even volunteer in the community, would that be a good thing?
Huge. We steer a lot of folks into internships at the police department, internships at the corrections office, anything that has to do with criminal justice, probation, anything like that, that could only help your chances. And it just looks good. It looks like you've set a foundation already of, goals that you want to achieve. So, we always talk to young people about those avenues to pursue.
You've got that police academy for young people.
Yes, the police academy for young people, in which we kind of, we guide them into law enforcement careers. Yeah.
And how much of a difference does it make? Because in that academy, you're spending time with older officers, you're getting some mentoring, and you're getting to see what the job is like. I guess that must be something.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember back in the day, we don't do it as much anymore as the ride-alongs. Like the ride-alongs used to be huge for younger folks to come in. I remember I did a few ride-alongs when I was a patrol officer in the South End, and the young, the young folks that would come with us on the ride-alongs, they were like, oh my goodness, this is great, and it, it reinforces their, their idea and their dream of becoming a police officer or remaining in law enforcement.
We should mention, if people want to find out some more information, is there some place they can call or go to online?
Sure. To call, obviously, because there is, tomorrow is the deadline at midnight, I would call, call us at 617-343-5010, 617-343-5010.
All right. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate it.
From the Boston Police Department, Sergeant Jose Lozano. We'll be back in just a moment.